Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Man shot dead in 3 Miles River, Westmoreland. Gunshots rang out in the community of 3 Miles River, leaving one man dead. He has been identified as 25-year-old Michael Curlew, also called Chev, of Tussle Lane in the community. Sources reported that Curlew was at one of his usual hangout spots close to his home when a man began shooting before escaping in a waiting motor vehicle. When the chaos subsided, Curlew was found slumped over and unresponsive. 9 shot the man getting, said one resident who refused to provide his name. I was at the restaurant buying food and heard the shot, straight-face shot. Curlew's father, sorrowful resident said, lost his life in a similar manner a few years ago. Today's death marked the third shooting murder within the space of 7 days in the Frome division. Police identify victims in Manchester market truck crash. The police have identified the 4 victims who died as a result of injuries they sustained when the truck in which they were traveling overturned on Penhill Main Road in Manchester on Wednesday. They are 40-year-old Donovan Peart, otherwise called Kirk, a truck driver of Allside District, Trelawney; 39-year-old Denisha Williams, a cashier or higgler of Trelawney; 30-year-old Susie Dunwell, a higgler of Dunstan District in Colleyville, Manchester; and Leela Samuda Johnson, otherwise called Cutie, a higgler of Silent Hill, Moravia in Clarendon. The 3 women were passengers in the Honda motor truck being driven by Peart. The vehicle was transporting them along with market goods about 2:15 a.m. when Peart allegedly failed to negotiate a corner, lost control of the vehicle, overturned and collided with a concrete bus stop. The police were summoned and the injured persons were taken to hospital where they were pronounced dead. The other passengers survived the accident. Crossroads and Anotobe tax offices to reopen today. The Tax Administration Jamaica, TAJ, says the Anotobe tax office in St. Mary, as well as the Crossroads tax office, will reopen to the public today, August 19. This follows work carried out in the aftermath of Tropical Storm Grace, which battered the island on Tuesday. All other tax offices island-wide reopened yesterday. The TAJ reminded the public that several services are available online via TAJ's website at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm instead of having to visit a tax office. These include the payment of property tax, motor vehicle certification of fitness fee, the driver's license renewal fee payment, traffic ticket fines, business-related taxes and fees. Additionally, persons may query their property tax liability, initiate an application for a taxpayer registration number TRN, or apply for tax compliance certificate TCC via the online platform. Bridge collapses at Manchester Trelawney border. Scores of residents have been cut off from crossing the Manchester Trelawney border on the Oxford to Troy Main Road after a bridge collapse on Wednesday afternoon. Member of Parliament for Manchester North Western Michael Phillips said that the bridge collapsed shortly after 4 p.m. He said the National Works Agency NWA has been made aware of the incident. It is the bridge that divides South Trelawney and Northwest Manchester. I have contacted the NWA. I know that they went up there to look at it, he said by telephone. They are looking at it as a matter of urgency. We just have to wait, and by tomorrow Thursday, I'll be able to make more information on it, he added. He said if the bridge isn't replaced soon, it would cause inconvenience for students when school reopens next month. If it is not dealt with by the time the back to school, we have students who leave from there and go to Balaclava High that would be affected. It would affect those who would leave there and go to Santa Cruz, My Gully and Mandeville, he said. It is shorter to transverse there to Mandeville than to go to Christiana than Mandeville, stated Phillips. Gardentown, New Haven escape worst of tropical storm. A number of residents living in New Haven and Gardentown in St. Andrew say they escaped the worst effects of Tropical Storm Grace on Tuesday, despite the heavy rains and strong winds. The Gardentown Main Road suffered extensive damage during heavy rain last November, while New Haven is seldom spared flooding whenever there is a heavy rain. As reporters approached Gardentown Road yesterday, Slit and Boasted occupied a long stretch of the roadway leading up to the breakaway where the NWA has been carrying out rehabilitation work. One resident living in Penfield District, Garden Town, who gave her name as Miss Moffett, said she experienced some flooding in her yard with damage to the walkway. "Right now, I need cement to fix my road," said Miss Moffett, who had been living in the community for 41 years. Another resident, who gave her name as Miss Blair, also lived in the Penville district, said although there was no flooding at her home, electricity was knocked out by a fallen tree. "When the rain come, a tree fell in front of my shop, but it was removed. After the light gone up until now, I got to work so late 'cause I had to wait for them to clear some parts of the road with the landslide," she said. Albert Young, who has been living with his wife and children in Savage Pen Garden Town for 30 years, complained that the roads need to be cleared and repaired as he endures difficulties when traveling. "There were minor landslides down by my gate, but because the roads are filled with dirt and stone, it is rough carrying my sick wife to the hospital. She had a stroke and I have to use the wheelchair to carry her. It is very hard," he said. In New Haven, which is prone to flooding, residents reported that they were not affected by usual knee-height flood water. Resident Donald Wickham said there was little to no damage in his St. Andrew Western community. "They drained them clean. We don't have much water like the last time. From the rain stop fall, everything was back to normal. Things are right now. Everybody going to work and everybody feel nice. We give thanks for that," he said. One resident, who gave his name as Odin and has been living in New Haven for 20 years, reported that no flooding here. "We just have water on the road and little by little it's going away." Yesterday, NWA Communications Manager Stephen Shaw said communities in the parishes of St. Thomas, St. Catherine, St. Andrew, St. Mary, Portland and St. James had experienced some level of flooding from rain associated with the tropical storm. Services upheld for most customers during Tropical Storm Grace, says Flow. Communications and entertainment company Flow Jamaica is reporting that services were maintained for majority of their customers during the passage of Tropical Storm Grace, as its ongoing assessment confirms that its network adequately weathered the storm. The reports so far have indicated some service disruptions across the island, primarily due to the loss of commercial power and, in a few instances, down poles and broken cables. Collectively, this represents 5% of our customer base. Since the passage of the storm, our focus has been on restoring services to our impacted customers. We want to caution, however, that there are some delays in our service restoration process as we await the restoration of commercial power to some areas, shared Keon Mitchell, Communications Director at Flow Jamaica. Flow reopened its retail store Wednesday morning and has been reminding the public to exercise extreme caution around cables which may have been loosened from poles or shift out of position. Once the cable is unbroken, service will remain uninterrupted. We are therefore appealing to members of the public not to cut or otherwise damage these cables. Instead, report such occurrences to our team via 1-800-804-2994 and we will dispatch our technical team to conduct repairs as soon as it is safe to do so, Mitchell added. The company is also asking its customers to exercise patience at this time as its team work to restore services as quickly as possible. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.